Yeah, Amanda and Brian, good afternoon. So we'll just kind of reset and set the scene with where this is. So Searsmont, the center of town, is here. This is Route 173. Here's 131, Robbins Lumber, located just south of what's considered kind of the center of town. And as we put the radar on right now, the radar is in gray. That's more than 60 miles, almost 70 miles to the west-southwest of here. The beam from the radar is about 4,000 feet above the ground level here. And you just saw from the video and heard Sean Stackhouse say two things. Number one, the smoke is still rising high up. But number two, it's not to the same intensity and the same color that it was earlier. And those are trends that we can see on the radar too, going back to about 11:30 this morning. First indication we had on radar was one little speck at about 11:30 this morning. That meant that was the first time this smoke plume hit about 4,000 feet. And then after that, look at how expansive it became. Worth noting, there were also rain showers in the area, but we know this is the smoke plume because something distinct stood out to us. It was traveling with the wind, number one, so first going more to the west, and then in about an hour ago it shifted more to a southwest turn to it. But we have a mode of the radar called correlation coefficient, which basically detects the shapes and sizes of objects that the radar is picking up on. It's used very often to determine whether there's any tornado debris that's getting lofted up by thunderstorms. But we could use it in this case to say those greens that you saw on radar on the last frame, these greens here, they were not precipitation. This was the smoke plume. And then we very quickly started getting video from people in Appleton and in Liberty who could see this either overhead or off in the distance as it was getting carried by the wind. This was what it looked like at 12:10 this afternoon. Now we'll compare it to what it looks like right now. That blue area is much smaller, which means at least at 4,000 feet, we're not seeing the plume as distinct as it was even just an hour or 45 minutes ago. So again, this is where Robbins Lumber is, and the radar right now is still picking up on some of that smoke, but it very much matches up with both what Sean's observations are and our live images from that location are. But this plume was pretty impressive, traveling to the west by more than 10 miles, all the way out to Liberty past Route 220 at high altitudes, about 4,000 feet. Always in these circumstances, we wonder about air quality. There are no reliable sensors that I could find in this exact area. And I recall back, I believe in 2020, there was an explosion at a mill in Jay that also had a huge plume of smoke with it. And one of the concerns in that instance was air quality. We have not seen any significant reports of air quality reduction. That's always something that's considered in a case like this. But at the moment, we've had no reports from officials about that. And there really are no reliable sensors in this area to get an accurate, precise measurement of that. But at the moment, that does not appear to be a concern. But again, earlier that plume was distinct and spreading to the west. Now it's much, much smaller and really just overhead from what we can tell near Robbins Lumber. Again, this all from the Weather Service in gray, which is 60, 70 miles to the west-southwest. And that's an indication of how high up this plume made it. And part of that, guys, is we don't have a ton of super, super strong wind today. So you notice from our live cameras, it went up straight and then got kind of carried as it went up higher in the sky. Back to you.
All right, Ryan, as always, helpful perspective in seeing the transition we've seen. Appreciate it. Also curious if we're able to go back to our live pictures of the smoke, because obviously we have a lot of eyes from our team on the smoke. The significant part we've been tracking is on the left side of your screen right now. That, however, is new, the dark smoke on the right side of your screen. And that is obviously a little bit removed from the heart of the plume we were watching before, which presumably, based on the
no major changes, you don't
smoke
think?
Conditions.
Cool, perfect, thank you.
Obviously the smoke is lightening up, but the dark part on the right is what's new and presumably a more active fire again on that scene.
Yes, and we've also been seeing these ladder trucks here dumping water on from above, and frankly, it looks like the water is kind of calming down there coming from that ladder truck.
And it was, those ladder trucks, again, we think they are ladder trucks. It's hard to tell with the tree line there, but presumably they're shooting from a higher point than the ground. Those were up much higher and arced down. You can see they're much more specifically focused in that area.
So want to let you know, we did earlier today hear from one of the co-owners of Robbins Lumber. That was Catherine Robbins Halstead, who's the VP of admin there. And she again added that all employees are accounted for. She said buildings can be replaced, people cannot. She would not confirm whether or not they had any employees injured. Sorry, Chris, did you want to jump in and say something?
No, just that we are expecting, at least according to Sean on the scene, he had told us back here in the newsroom, we should be expecting some kind of update from a public information officer soon. The last time we heard was 2:20 p.m., which would be coming up in about 4 minutes. But again, with these very changing situations, who knows?